Over the last 3 weeks, I have been doing a summer reading series. I posted some questions in the community tab on my channel and had you guys vote on which book I should read each week. For week 1, I read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Week 2, I read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and now we're on week 3. Oh my god, I'm so happy. What? I am speechless. I really am speechless. How did we end up here? Coffee. What am I doing? I need coffee. At this point, you already know that the most voted book was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. What a shocker. Since I have read majority of Abby's books during this summer reading series, I thought I'd go ahead and share what I've learned about her so far. Abby is a New York best-selling romance author and Food Network champion living in Minnesota, which is basically the setting of the books I've read by her so far. Abby founded Nadia Cakes, which she refers to a few times in her books as well. I didn't know the place was actually a real place. Abby loves a good romance, coffee, doglets, and not leaving the house. That really sounds like me, honestly. I have loved reading Abby's books and I am looking forward to reading more. Abby wrote a total of 6 books so far, with The Friend Zone being her debut novel. Have you read it? I haven't read it, but I do plan to. The book that I'm currently reading is her latest release. It officially came out April 2nd of 2024. What? No way. This series first started with Part of Your World, which came out in 2022. It was named the best romance of 2022 by Bookpage, Booklist, Amazon, and Country Living. So far, I am absolutely loving this book. It is definitely taking me on an emotional roller coaster. I think I like it. Oh my god, I really hope this ends well. This just does not seem like it's gonna end well. don't even know where to begin. There is so much backstory that you need that I don't know if I can give you. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Girl, this is the third book of the Part of Your World series. This is the third episode of my summer reading series. So if you haven't seen week 1 or week 2, go back and watch those videos because that's how we end up here, okay? In addition to all the stuff that happened before. But like, you can't, honestly, someone asked me in the last video if you can read yours truly without reading Part of Your World. I was kind of like, yes and no. Like, it depends on who you are as a reader. This one, you need to read Part of Your World. You cannot skip the first book. At first, I was like, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, after Yours Truly ended, I was like, who's gonna be the next? Because, like, Part of Your World was about Alexis and Daniel, and then Yours Truly was about Brianna and, what was his name? Jacob. Brianna and Jacob. This one, I was like, who's next? The connection. Like, the way Abby has connected all of these people, I was literally like, I have never read a book like that is this like intertwined with characters from like 2 books ago who never really gets mentioned until this book, and I'm like, I didn't even know they were gonna be important. Oh my god, like that is so freaking cool. That is so creative. She thought way ahead. Either Abby Jimenez thought 3 books ahead when she wrote the first book, or she just kept the story going. Like, okay, how can I go back and bring it forward? Girl, I'm like, she is great. This whole time I've been like, wait, you know the meme with the lady and there's like math equations and everything around her face and she's just like connecting the dots? Like, that is how I am feeling about this book. I'm like, wait, nobody can prepare you for this book. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm kind of halfway through. We just keep finding out stuff. I am waiting for that shoe to fall. The shoe is going to drop, and when that shoe drops, I'm going to be like on the floor with the shoe. I haven't even talked about what the book is about. So we have some new characters in the book, but other characters still make appearances. It's about Emma and Justin. We haven't met these people yet, so this is like their introduction. This is very much still a series, very much. Emma is like a travel nurse, and Justin, I don't even know what he does. Wait, let me talk about Justin later. Let me talk about Emma first. Emma feels like she is cursed. Every time she dates somebody, after they break up, the guy finds his true love after Emma. The last 3 or 4 relationships she's been in, after they broke up, this guy has gone on to become married now. So like, she's cursed. She is not the only one who has this problem. Apparently, Justin is also cursed with this good luck charm, they called it. Justin dates these women. As soon as they break up, the man who that woman dates after Justin ends up being her husband. Justin made a post on Reddit about being love's good luck charm, and it went viral, apparently, right? Emma and Justin are like, what if we dated each other, and when we break up with each other, our curse will cancel each other out, and then we'll end up finding the person that we're meant to marry. Maybe they'll cancel each other out. Maybe they'll go on to find their soulmate, is what this thing is saying. It says, only Justin wasn't supposed to be so unbelievably cute and hilarious. Oh my god, that is a dangerous combination. You're cute and funny? Sign me up. But then, girl, when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, all of that right there needs some unpacking, some major unpacking. But we gotta read to find out, right? Emma's toxic mother shows up, okay. Justin has to assume guardianship of 3 siblings. Why? I'm like, what and why? Girl, I cannot wait to find out why. They're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected. Emma was not expecting her toxic mom to show up, and Justin was not expecting to become a guardian of his 3 siblings, okay? That's a big deal. Like, that's a lot, actually. Like, what? Anyway, they weren't expecting that, and they weren't expecting to catch real feelings. Has fate finally brought the perfect pair together, or will their curse be way more hazardous than the curse itself? This is about to go all the way wrong. Like, this is not gonna end well. I love Justin. I just knew it was gonna be hard to hate him the second we met him, because he's like trying to prepare for their first date. This dude sends her, what was it? A survey. Your date with Justin. Congratulations on your upcoming date with Justin. Your preferences are important, so he'd like to know what you think. Please complete this questionnaire by 9 p.m. tonight. This is actually like so smart. Like, I wish a guy would send me a survey so that we could just get the date right away, like the first try, without even having to be like, oh, I didn't like that. Like, you didn't know, like you didn't ask, like, you know, like it being awkward, like you not knowing what I like or me not knowing what you like type of thing. What activities interest you? Preferred greeting. contactless. I just think that is so freaking cute. Like, that is so thoughtful. But girl, then, so they go on their little date, which I cannot talk about the date. I know I can't talk about it, but you gotta read. Oh my god, oh my god. But after the date was over, she gets a text. It says, Justin sent me an exit interview. On a scale from awkward to charming, how would you rate Justin's performance? Awkward to charming. I love. You're not gonna believe who makes an appearance in this book. I'm still just like shook thinking about it. Here we are. We'll catch back up later. I was up all night last night and I finished the book. I didn't go to bed until like 2 a.m. I'm not even gonna lie. You don't even want to know what time it is right now. I was up until 2 a.m. like I already said, but like I was kind of like, why am I still reading? You know, like I was like, this book should have ended. It could, I mean, I'm gonna tell you my ratings in the wrap up, so like subscribe and stay tuned. But I thought the book should have ended like 20 pages sooner. I was like, okay, like yeah, one thing that I absolutely loved about this book is the fact that they really hit heavy with like trauma. And I feel like every book had a theme. The first book, Part of Your World, was about like stepping outside of the bubble of what people expect you to do. Everyone is expecting you to do one thing, but you want to do another. Like I feel like that whole book, Part of Your World, was about like you stepping out and creating your own world. Like literally, like I love that. And then yours truly, I feel like it was about just being honest, talking and saying how you feel sooner rather than later, so that you don't have to go so long feeling a type of way or assuming that you know what someone else is feeling. Girl, that's the tea right there. That whole book, I was like, if they would have just had one conversation. She was thinking one thing, he was thinking another thing, and it was far from the truth of like what they actually felt. That is so real. Oh, they don't like me, they don't like me. It's obvious that they don't like me because they couldn't come to my party. But then like the whole time, like that person like got a flat tire on the way to your party. So like even if they wanted to go, they couldn't go, but then they didn't go anyway. So like it looks like they didn't want to go. And even if they told you like they got a flat tire, you're like, oh, that was just an excuse. Like you just never know. Like people come up with assumptions, and I was like, that was the overall theme of that book. There are nice people in the world, but you have to like talk actually. And I feel like this book, Just for the Summer, it's like, let's try something here just for the summer. It's time to drink water, but I'm drinking coffee instead. Sorry. Anyway, also I feel like yours truly was about like recognizing the fact that you can be loved too. Someone can genuinely love you even if someone who you used to date didn't. You know what I'm saying? This book kind of like piggybacks off of that, but like about trauma. And I think it's the same thing with yours truly. Like Bree has so much trauma around relationships and love that it was hard for her to even like think about like giving that same energy to another person. That is also relatable. Have you ever been in a relationship where like y'all broke up and then you're like, yeah, that I'm never going to trust anybody again, and now every person that you meet after that one jerk or that one person who failed, now every person after that has to pay for what this person did. You know what I'm saying? But that's like low-key trauma. And it's also interesting because when I read the acknowledgments, do you actually like read this page? Because you find out like some things. Girl, in the acknowledgement page, I found out that that questionnaire that I talked about earlier in this video, this dude sent her a survey. Your date with Justin. Congratulations on your upcoming date with Justin. That was real. If you read the acknowledgments, it says, thank you to Graham McCarthy, whose viral first date questionnaire to Katrina was the inspiration for Justin's surveys in the book. But also in the acknowledgments, it talks about how she talked to a person about trauma. Because you know, when you write a book about trauma, you kind of want to know what you're talking about, but also this is a fictional book, so like she's not a therapist, but she's saying like these things have some truth to it, you know? The biggest thing that I love when they were talking about trauma, it was like when you have trauma, it's like a cement ground that has a crack in it. What happens when there's a crack in the ground and water gets into it and then freezes? The crack expands, right? Like she's like, my cracks are just like too much. Like there's just like, she was like, I have built bridges over the cracks and I have like figured out how to hide or like maneuver around the cracks, but like I didn't feel the crack. Like you have to heal the trauma, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to put cement in the crack of the cement so that you heal. This book was so sad in my opinion towards it, and I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I didn't even know how it was gonna end. Like I was so shocked. I was like, whoa. I mean, it started off like whatever, but then towards the end it took a whole different turn, and I was like, okay, like dang. And I think the whole point is like trauma creeps up at the worst time. If you have unhealed, unresolved trauma, you might want to go ahead and heal that, because every relationship and every situation you step into after, like I said, that example, like this guy did you wrong, not every guy after that has to pay for what he did. that is like real life. But some of it is really good life lessons. Like sometimes we need to like fail so that we can learn how to succeed. But the crazy, let me take a step back and say, sometimes you don't even know that it's trauma. Sometimes you have been through so much from such a young age that you have normalized what you're going through. You have normalized this trauma response. A common trauma response is like isolation. You find out what her trauma triggers are. Do I have 4% left? Okay. It was a great summer read. It wasn't like at the beach or anything, but you just gotta read it to find out. Anyway, we have made it to the end of week 3, which is like, what? There's one more week left in this summer reading series. The polls have already gone up. I wonder what the heck am I gonna start reading next week? If you've enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to catch the next video every Sunday at 11 a.m. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye!